Are we background characters? Have you ever felt like just another face in the crowd, moving through life without truly engaging with it? In video games, NPCs populate the virtual worlds. These non-playable characters are designed to follow specific paths and perform certain actions. They follow scripts, repeat dialogue, and exist to move the story forward. Their existence is defined by the roles they play within the game. But what if we, in our daily lives, are more like NPCs than we realize? What if our routines and habits are just as scripted? What if our routines and unconscious actions make us background characters in our own stories? We wake up, go to work, come home, and repeat, often without thinking. This isn't about a literal simulation. It's not about being trapped in a computer program. It's about recognizing the ways we might be living on autopilot. How often do we go through the motions without truly being present? Are we truly making choices? Or are we simply following pre-programmed patterns of behavior dictated by societal norms and expectations? Or are we simply following pre-programmed patterns of behavior? Our schedules, our habits, our routines, are they really our own? This essay explores the unsettling possibility that we might be living as NPCs controlled by forces we barely notice. These forces could be societal pressures, cultural norms, or even our own fears and insecurities. By understanding these forces, we can begin to break free from our programmed routines. We can start to live more consciously, making deliberate choices that reflect our true selves. We can step outside the boundaries of our NPC programming and become the conscious, active authors of our own lives. It's about taking control, being present, and truly engaging with the world around us. The autopilot within habits and routines. Our brains are wired for efficiency, constantly seeking ways to conserve energy. They create shortcuts, habits, to conserve energy, allowing us to perform tasks without much thought. We wake up, brush our teeth, and commute to work, often without conscious thought, following a set pattern. These routines serve a purpose, helping us manage our daily lives efficiently. They free up our minds for more complex tasks, enabling us to focus on what truly matters. But when do habits cross the line into mindlessness? When do they stop serving us and start controlling us? When we scroll through social media without absorbing a word, are we truly present? Are we engaging with the world around us? Repetitive actions performed without awareness can turn us into automatons, going through the motions without truly living. We go through the motions, but where is the spark of consciousness? Where is the engagement with our own lives? This isn't about demonizing all routines. Structure is important. It provides stability and predictability. But we must question our habits. Are they serving us? Are they helping us grow and thrive? Or are they simply running on autopilot, keeping us from truly experiencing life? It's time to reflect and make conscious choices. Social scripts, playing our assigned roles. From a young age, we're given scripts to follow. Society tells us who to be, how to behave, and what success looks like. We internalize these expectations, often without questioning them. We play the role of the dutiful student, the ambitious employee, the responsible parent. These roles can be helpful, providing structure and meaning, but they can also become cages, limiting our potential and silencing our true voices. When we blindly follow social scripts, we surrender our individuality. We become cogs in a machine, fulfilling expectations instead of pursuing our own desires. It's time to examine the roles we play. Are they authentically ours, or are we simply performing for an audience? The algorithm of consumerism. Modern life is saturated with choices. But are these choices truly ours? Or are they subtly manipulated by algorithms designed to keep us consuming? We're bombarded with targeted advertising, personalized recommendations, and carefully crafted trends. Our desires are anticipated, our anxieties exploited. We're nudged towards products we don't need, experiences designed to keep us hooked on the cycle of consumption. The illusion of choice is powerful, but when we examine the forces shaping our desires, we see the strings attached to our supposedly free will. Are we conscious consumers making informed decisions, or are we simply data points, responding predictably to the algorithms that govern our digital lives? It's time to reclaim our agency and choose consciously, not compulsively. Digital reflections, NPCs in virtual worlds. The line between the real and the virtual is blurring. We curate online personas, craft witty captions, and chase likes and followers. In these digital spaces, it's easy to fall into familiar patterns. We project idealized versions of ourselves, conforming to the unwritten rules of social media. We react to carefully curated feeds, our emotions manipulated by algorithms designed to maximize engagement. This isn't to say all online interaction is inauthentic, but it's worth reflecting on our digital selves. Are we presenting genuine expressions of our identity? Or are we simply playing characters seeking validation from the digital hive mind? The illusion of choice. The modern world offers an abundance of choices, from the mundane to the significant. We can customize everything from our coffee orders to our news feeds, tailoring our experiences to our preferences. But this overwhelming array of options can mask a deeper truth: the illusion of choice. Despite the variety, many paths lead to the same endpoint. Our choices are often limited by factors beyond our control: socioeconomic background, cultural conditioning, and the algorithms that shape our online experiences. These invisible strings guide our decisions more than we realize. We may feel like we're in the driver's seat, steering our lives with autonomy, but are we truly free to choose our own paths? Or are we merely following signs placed by unseen hands? Or are we simply navigating within predetermined lanes confined by the boundaries set for us? Our options are carefully curated by forces beyond our immediate awareness, limiting the true scope of our freedom. Recognizing this illusion is the first step towards genuine agency. Awareness allows us to question and challenge these constraints. It's about understanding the forces that shape our choices and seeking out alternative paths, even if they are less traveled and more challenging. True freedom lies in the courage to venture off the beaten track, to explore uncharted territories, and to make choices that reflect our authentic selves. Free will, fact, or fiction? The question of free will is a philosophical puzzle that has plagued thinkers for centuries. Do we have control over our actions and decisions? Or are our lives predetermined by a complex web of cause and effect? Neuroscience suggests that our brains make decisions before we're even consciously aware of them. This raises unsettling questions about the nature of free will. If our choices are simply the product of unconscious processes, what does it mean to be in control? While the debate rages on, one thing is clear: the more aware we are of the forces influencing our thoughts and behaviors, the more agency we have to make conscious choices. Waking up, becoming conscious players. Recognizing our NPC tendencies is not about despair, it's about awakening. It's about reclaiming our agency and becoming conscious participants in our own lives. It's about questioning our routines, challenging social scripts, and examining the forces that shape our desires. This awakening is a process, not a destination. It requires ongoing self-reflection, a willingness to question our assumptions, and the courage to break free from comfortable but limiting patterns. It's about recognizing the moments when we're operating on autopilot and making a conscious choice to step off the pre-programmed path. The power of mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about becoming aware of our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without getting swept away by them. In a world designed to distract us, mindfulness is a radical act of rebellion. By cultivating mindfulness, we can start to notice the subtle ways we're caught in habitual patterns of thought and behavior. We can observe our reactions to triggers and choose more conscious responses. Mindfulness allows us to create space between stimulus and response, opening up the possibility of making choices that align with our values and aspirations. Embracing the unknown. Breaking free from our NPC programming requires embracing uncertainty. It's about stepping outside of our comfort zones, questioning our assumptions, and being open to new possibilities. It's about accepting that we don't have all the answers and being willing to learn and grow. This can be uncomfortable. Our brains are wired to seek certainty and predictability. But it's in the unknown, in the spaces beyond our carefully constructed routines, that we discover our true potential. It's in those moments of discomfort that we break free from the confines of our programmed existence and step into the fullness of who we can be. Beyond the code. A call to awareness. The question of whether we're living as NPCs is not about finding a definitive answer. It's about sparking a conversation, a process of self-reflection and inquiry. It's about recognizing the ways in which we might be limiting ourselves, unconsciously following scripts instead of writing our own stories. The journey from NPC to conscious player is ongoing. It requires vigilance, self-awareness, and a willingness to challenge the status quo. But the rewards are immeasurable. By waking up to our own potential, we can transcend the limitations of our programmed existence and create lives of meaning, purpose, and authentic connection.